What's up, everybody? Welcome to the pit. What are we going to do today? Well, today we're going to be doing some shoulder presses. Last week we got 255 6 times. This week we're going to try to get 255 7 or 8 times. If I can get it 8 times, next week we'll add some more weight. But first I got to get out of this coat and we got to get some warm-ups in. So let's go.
225, last warm up.
Come on, 255. I gotta get it at least 7 times. At least. Alright, let's talk about what just happened. Well, what just happened? Well, you dropped the weight, Nick. That's exactly what just happened. But why did I drop it? And if I'm not mistaken, that might be the first time I've ever dropped an overhead press. I've come damn close, but I think that might be the first time I've ever had to abandon ship. If you'll notice, everything was going pretty smooth. I got off balance, all right? I got off balance, I tried to compensate, and when I did, by stepping backwards, I brought the weight forward, and I just couldn't maintain. When that happens, don't fight it, drop it. It's not worth dropping it on your face, on your chest, on your damn hip, or anything like that. Don't, just abandon it. Other than that, I was pretty happy with the way things are going. Now look, that's heavy weight for me. So let me collect myself. I'm gonna go sit for a minute, get my thoughts together, because as you can see, technique is paramount, especially with the overhead press. I cannot stress that enough. And then we're gonna give it one more try. Now, am I gonna get more than 6 this time? I don't know, because I just shot 2 right there. And I lost some strength trying to correct it. When you're this close and everything is this calculated, it's really anybody's guess as far as how many I'm gonna get. You know, at this point in time, if I got 5, I'd be happy. Because, like I said, I just blowed 2. Now, do I want more? Of course. So let's rest, put our thoughts together, like I said, and see what we can do. We try. Everything's gotta be tight. You right? Still got 7. Took all I had. That's the name of the game, baby. Woo! I have every reason to believe that I could have gotten 8, maybe even 9 reps out of that one working set if I didn't get off balance and have to dump it. I'd already used up the energy on 2 reps, not to mention having to fight it. Not only will it sap your strength, it saps your morale, your self-confidence, all that kind of stuff. You've just got to sit down and collect yourself. Now, I could have chosen not to put that on video, and you guys would have never seen that. But I told y'all in the beginning when I started this channel that I'm gonna show you the good with the bad. Well, that's bad, but it's also good. It lets you know what can happen. And to not beat yourself up about it when it does, and it will happen, it ain't an if, it's a when. Not to beat yourself up over it. When it happens, just sit down, let your strength build back up, let your wind build back up, let your confidence and your morale build back up. Don't let it ruin your training session. You can see right here, it's proof positive that you can move past that mistake, move past that embarrassing moment, and it was, and it is, learn from it, and actually attain your goals. I needed at least 7 reps today because I got 6 last week. And I thought when I flubbed it, well, that's out of the question. Maybe I can get 5, maybe at least match what I did last week. No, I went on and got my goal. I beat my last week's record, which is a new PR for me, by the way. I've never lifted 255 over my head 7 times. Last week was a PR. I never lifted 255 over my head 6 times. The week before that, when I was lifted 250 over my head 8 times, that was a PR. You get my point. You know, you get where I'm going with this. Every week, if you do this right, you'll get stronger. You just got to eat and rest and train with intensity and intelligence. You can see it only takes one heavy set to failure. It really does. And really, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret, you'd probably still get stronger and progress even if you stopped 1 rep before failure. On that, you know, it almost feels impossible, but it's not. Because right there, I knew from years of training that I wasn't going to get 8. If I brought it down, it wasn't coming back up. And after I fought with that mess earlier in the workout, I'm not doing that. Okay? So technically, I knew that was failure. I know what failure feels like. But technically, I didn't fail on that rep. I succeeded. What I could have done when I got that 7th rep up is lowered it down for a good slow negative. I knew I wasn't going to get 8. Maybe try for 8 and then back up and put it back on the rack. That's called working like static holes and negatives, and I've talked about that ad nauseum. So now what we're going to do is go over here, finish up with a set of dips. I've been omitting dips in my workout for about the past month or so, and I still continue to get stronger. But since I've started this whole 1 set to failure deal, and my workouts are actually spread out a little bit more, and I'm only doing 1 set instead of 3 sets, I'm going to start, if I can, I'm going to do some experimenting and start putting dips back in my workout, in my overhead press and in my bench press day workout. If you'll notice, I haven't done those in a couple months. Well, why is that? I wasn't recovering from the whole 3x5 deal, you know, and then as many, and then of course on that 3rd set of 3x5, I was going to failure. So it may have been 6, 7, 8 reps, either way. I wasn't recovering when I threw in my dips because I was going to take them to failure too. So now that I've went back to the whole high intensity 1 set to failure workout, and my workouts are a little further apart now, and I'm only doing 1 heavy working set, I would like to see if I can incorporate dips back into my workout and still maybe get a little bit of pec work on shoulder day and get a little shoulder work on pec day like my initial plan was. And that was working great for a while, but then it got to the point where I just couldn't recover from it anymore. So that being said, you've seen the shoulder press progression today. Stoked up, real happy about that. Let's get some dips. I'm not going to do weighted dips today. And I don't feel like sitting here doing 30 freaking straight dips just to get to failure. So I'm going to break it up into a few different sets. On shoulder day, after doing presses like that, my shoulders are just too weak. I feel too compromised to be pumping 270 pounds up and down on the dip rack too much. And I truly do appreciate everybody that watches my videos and comments. Go to Facebook and look up the Pit Strength Training. Answer the little sign-in questions and join up. You get an awful lot of good support in there from some real good-hearted, like-minded people. It's always there with a good encouraging word, a little bit of advice, so on and so forth. We'd love to have you there. If you like what you've seen here today, subscribe. Tell your friends about it. The whole premise of this channel is based on a no bullshit policy. Most of the time, if I tell you something, almost every single time I tell you something, it's based on something that I have done myself. And I don't mean just try for a day or two. I mean actually used it as a program and either progressed or didn't progress. So this ain't just shit that I've made up. This is not just my opinion. These are actually trackable facts that you can go back and watch my videos and see whether I did good or did bad on. And obviously, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not here to try to teach you how to lose weight. You know, that's not my field of expertise. I can show you how to get stronger though. I can tell you anything you want to know about a low carb diet. I know how it affects your body because I know how it affects my body. And I know everybody's different, but you know, we're all the same enough that an aspirin does about the same thing for me as it'll do for you. And a low carb diet, carnivore diet, whatever kind of diet, will do about the same thing for me as it does for you. And here's something I like to leave you with every now and then. If there's anything in life, today's a perfect example, that you're having a hard time with, that you're having a hard time overcoming, don't run from it. Don't be intimidated. Just understand that everybody has problems in life. Your problems are going to look different than somebody else. That don't mean they're greater, that don't mean they're less. It's all relative to your perspective. Don't run from it. Stop. Stare at it. Look it dead in the eye. Study it. Learn all you can about it. Then go over there and whip its ass. Now, it might take you 1 or 2 or 3 times to do it. And it might sling you around like a rag doll for a little while. But eventually, you are going to overcome it. Eventually, that problem, that issue, is going to be looking around the corner for you. And eventually, you'll be a different creature. You will be totally equipped to deal with that issue and every similar issue after that. That's why I always say, get in the pit. The pit is where you hone yourself. You know, it's iron against iron. Nothing that I know of on a physical level can test your mettle like lifting weights, because you are in 100% total control of how much weight you put on that bar. You are in 100% total control of how much effort you train with. And believe it or not, that molds your character. That burns marks into your character and scars you in a good way. And every time you overcome something hard in the gym, it does something to your mind and your spirit. And it's completely transferable to all your worldly problems, because it gives you inner strength and self-confidence, and you can take that anywhere. That's why I always say, get in the pit. Train yourself. Hone yourself. Sharpen yourself. So remember, never be afraid
to get in the pit.